everyone, it's Emma. Welcome back. I'm so excited that you're all here again. In this process video, you'll see me putting together this wool booklet that I made about quite a stressful experience using the Unexpected Story Kit from Ali Edwards. So let's just get to it. So this is a digital version of the wool journal card. It's a paper really. And I brought this in because I want to make a custom frame to drop my pictures in, so I know that they will fit in this gap perfectly, although I don't want to use the word perfectly. They'll just fit, and I won't have to fiddle around with them. So I'm making this template frame. If you're interested in learning how to do this, I have a walkthrough video step by step, which I will link to below. So you can see I've made the frame and now I've just dropped a picture in, and so that's hopefully how it will come out. And these are all the other little elements that are going into the booklet. So this is going on the back, and then you'll see I'm going to copy and paste all those little frames that I made, and I'm putting them onto this print and cut file for my silhouette. I do it a little bit differently because I find that when I import images into my silhouette, it downgrades the quality of them. So I cheat it a bit by making my own template, and then I make that into a PNG and upload that into Silhouette instead. And there is the journal card that I made from the digital kit, which will go in as well. So here I am just adjusting where that print and cut file is going to go on my silhouette so that it prints out properly. If you want to know how I did this, drop a comment below and I will do a video on how to do this to kind of cheat the system. And everywhere where there's a red line is where it's going to cut. And the reason I do this is because I am absolutely useless at cutting anything but straight lines. So this just makes it a lot easier for me. And you'll see this going into my portrait. I just have a portrait instead of a big cameo. It's A4 size or letter size, and I only really use those size papers, so this works perfectly for me, and it's really super light and easy to move around rather than my huge Cricut that I have, which I get out if I need some, extra power. But my portrait I love, so I'm waffling on a bit here. I do apologize for that. So that's that completing, and you can see it just cuts them all out. Oh, it's just a breeze. I love that. So here I am cutting out some straight lines, and this will be the center page for the poppy outy bit where the boy will move backwards and forwards. You're going to see that in a minute, sorry. And I'm putting that to one side, and I have a replica of it here, and I'm going to cut out the boy just by fussy cutting it, so it doesn't have to be too exact. And a little tip, try and move the paper when you're fussy cutting rather than your scissors, and you get I get a better result doing that anyway. That I have done that, I am dismantling the mock-up that I made to figure out how to actually do this in the first place. I got this from another YouTuber who has amazing, absolutely beautiful planners, and I'll drop the link below for this mechanism, which you can buy off Etsy or just create yourself. And I'm using the boy that I cut out to see where I need to make adjustments to that mechanism, and just cutting that bit off so it doesn't show when it's finally stuck on. And I'm just adhering it with some masking tape there just to make sure that it swivels okay and it doesn't stick out the end or get creased in the fold. To cut a piece of the sea background and glue this onto the mechanism so that the white part wouldn't be visible once it's stuck in. folding this in half, I use a ruler and some magnetic pegs to hold the ruler in place so that I can really try and get this square, because I didn't leave myself a lot of room for trimming if it is a bit out of line. And it's important to get the crease in the middle, because as you can tell, the boy is quite close to that crease, so if it was off center then it might not fit. Exactly where those need to go, and then I use some red line tape to make sure that that is really well stuck down. And I apologize for my head being in the way, but I'm putting in a slit so that the tab of the mechanism, which will be stuck down, will go through that little slit. You'll see me just pull it through here, so it can't be seen when everything is put together. Cutting out the article. It was such big news here in Jersey, where nothing ever happens, that it was all over the news. I had to create or cut out a piece of acetate with the same dimensions as the article, because I would usually put crop marks on, but I didn't have enough room to put crop marks in, so I cut out a piece of acetate and put that on the top, so I knew that I was cutting it to the right size. And the little heart is just to make sure that I have it up the right way, because the dimensions were quite similar and I didn't want to cut it the wrong way around. And then you will see, well, you would be able to see if my head wasn't in the way, that I just stuck that on to the back, and now I'm just trimming down. There's always a bit of trimming. I quite like the trimming, actually. It's quite satisfying. Here is a binder cover, which I use instead of heavy duty acetate because it's very reasonably priced. And I'm figuring out whereabouts I need to put this sort of element of the booklet. And I'm going to score it, which you can see there, and fold that over, and that little plastic fold over will hold the booklet flat when it's inside my album, so it doesn't flop around all over the place and get damaged. Where this needs to go, so I need enough of a gap where the acetate folds, so it's not butted up just next to the fold, because that might make it difficult for the fold to go flat. When I figured that out, and I just eyeball it in the end, I just stick that in with some dotted glue tape. And then this is a picture. I just grabbed it off Google Earth and then drew a little dotted line to show where the boy started and where it ended up. Here is the physical paper from the kit, and I'm going to be adding my photos. My photos actually printed out too long, but not too wide, which is odd. So I had to cut them short a bit. So I'm using a ruler here underneath because I'd already stuck glue on it before I checked that they fitted. And again, my head is in the way, and I apologize for that. putting that journal card, large piece of paper, onto the front. And this is my actual journaling about what had happened. It definitely was very unexpected and pretty shocking and a little bit scary as well. So this very long journal card I made from the digital kit, and I just kept layering or cutting off the plot twist and sticking them one after the other so it looked like it was one continuous card. And then I am using the shocker stamp from the Unexpected kit along the bottom of that journal card, and I'm using peeled paint, which was an almost identical colour. So I love it when you have a bit of serendipity like that. To have a piece of this acetate about 1.5 inches wide, I think it is, and this is where I will punch the holes so that the little booklet fits into the album. And this is one of the felt exclamation marks. I just love them so much. And that is going to go onto the little fold over just to make it a little bit more visible and also to just add a bit more texture and interest. And I use the ruler in a minute to figure out roughly where halfway up is. I mean, it's just a guide just to help a little bit there. And there we are. It is finished. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. See you all soon.